I'm here with James Oliver Curry, Eat Out editor for Time Out New York. And New York is known for its Italian food. It's kind of one of the main things here. And I know there's just one over in Brooklyn. It's called Frankie's 457 Spuntino. What can you tell me about it? Because I don't know too much about it.
You're right. Italian food is the largest cuisine in New York City, and every week there's probably 2 or 3 new places that open up that are dedicated to Italian food. Frankie's 457 Spuntino is different from some of the other Italian restaurants in a few ways. First of all, it's in Brooklyn. Secondly, it's not in the trendiest part of Brooklyn. It is in Carroll Gardens, and Carroll Gardens is next to Cobble Hill, which is next to Boerum Hill. Smith Street is the center of that scene. This is on Court Street, and it's also far down Court Street. It's about 4 or 5 or 6 blocks from where most people are used to eating. So it's a little bit of a hike, but I like that fact. It makes it a destination, and it makes it a little bit of a more special, and I think the people who are there go to it because it is a destination then. It's not something they stumbled upon. I think the name almost gives it that vibe of Frankie's, something it's clearly not going to be too seriously taken or too upscale. Narrow little space, you can sit at the bar, you can sit at one of the tables. They're definitely going to get to know your neighbors, or you're going to get to know the person who's serving you the wine because they're just inches away from you. It's an intimate space then. It could be good for a date, or it could be good for just people who want to try some Italian food. It's inexpensive, which is always good, and you don't have to order an appetizer and an entree. They have a lot of kind of tasting menus that allow you to try, for example, various cheeses or various meats or a salad or a sandwich, so that you could have 3 or 4 different things, or between 2 people you could have 8 things. I know when I was there was a taste of a breggiola that I liked very much. They have these just very plain meatballs that are very good. The kitchen is right in front of you as well. There's a prepared kitchen downstairs you don't see, but they do most of the prep work right in front of you in the space that's like the size of a sink. So everything has to it, I think, a real personal touch, which I like. And so it's a little bit of a wine bar Italian place. It's wine bar, tapas, it's all these different hybrid phrases thrown into one cute place that happens to be in a neighborhood where it's not oversaturated with that kind of place.
Right. I know it's owned by 2 Frankies, actually, and they're both of Italian background. They both kind of grew up like with their grandmother cooking, and they kind of came up through like that old-fashioned Italian story of how they got into cooking. It sounds like it literally feels like you're eating in like your grandmother's kitchen.
If ever there were a place where that's a possibility, then this is it. I did not have an Italian grandmother, and there's no grandmother behind the wall, but you definitely get the sense of the intimacy and seeing your food prepared, getting the sense that it's fresh, and the portions are not enormous. The technique and the preparation is not anything that's stuffy or fancy at all. But it's especially delicious too. I should add that it's one of our favorite places at Time Out New York. So it's definitely worth trying at least once if you like Italian food or are in the Carroll Gardens neighborhood.
So are they open for lunch?
They are open for lunch. It's a nice off the beaten track kind of place for lunch. But the other thing that you should realize is that because it is small, it's cash only, and that's for lunch and for dinner.
Good to know. You don't want to be caught off track with that. Cool. Well, it's definitely worth checking out, and if you're willing to make the trek over to Carroll Gardens, you definitely want to check out Frankie's 457 Spuntino.